Hey guys, it's Christex. Now, I'm slightly late to this topic because I had exams and I didn't want to make a video, but we're finally here. So today we're going to be talking about all the new features coming to the new F125 My Team 2.0 career mode. But before we get into it, I'd like to quickly apologise for the gameplay you might see in this video. You know, I don't really know what gameplay to get for F1, so I kind of just joined open lobbies, but as you can imagine, open lobbies are just absolute chaos. But with all that being said, let's get into the video. So last week, EA Sports released the deep dive for My Team 2.0, and in that deep dive they basically just went over all the new features coming mainly to My Team, but also a few coming to Driver Career Mode. So of course we're going to talk about the most important ones first. Now, a lot of F1 fans or career mode fans are very annoyed because in My Team 2.0 you will no longer be able to drive as yourself unless you are an esports world champion. Basically, you can no longer create your own driver in career mode. You have to use one of the drivers. So you sign two drivers, you can choose to race as either one every single weekend. So, one weekend I could race, let's say I have Hamilton and Verstappen. One weekend I can race as Hamilton, the next weekend I can race as Verstappen. And it basically means you can choose which driver you want to focus on. Let's say Max Verstappen's close to winning the World Championship. You might want to drive as Verstappen. But let's say Hamilton's struggling and your main focus is in the Constructors. You'll want to drive as Hamilton and pick up the pace. Now, as well as that, there is actually a new driver market in F125 My Team. So basically, during a season, you will be able to basically scout for multiple drivers. You will be able to negotiate with them. But obviously, at the end of the season, you will only be able to sign a contract with two drivers. And as well as that, they are adding a bit of realism, because if your talks with certain drivers get leaked, obviously that could cause a bit of chaos with other drivers. And there will be even more chaos with driver icons, as AI teams can now actually sign driver icons, and you can choose which driver icons are allowed in your career mode. This means you could literally end up racing against Lewis Hamilton and Michael Schumacher at Ferrari. In addition to that, you don't actually have to create your own custom team in the My Team career mode. You will be able to race as Connor Sport, or if you buy the premium version of the game, you will be able to race as Apex GP. In addition to that, you can add both of these teams as an 11th team in just normal driver career mode. And you don't even have to race for them to be added. They will literally just automatically manage themselves as other teams would. Now finally, the last bit we have about drivers specifically. In F124, a lot of people were complaining about career mode moves in the game and them being slightly boring, sometimes not even having any moves. However, in F125, in the settings, they are now adding a feature where you can choose how many career mode moves you will see in a season. So there'll be 3 different settings. There'll be one basically being barely any, one being a decent amount, and 2 basically being insanity. So now you have the option, do you want more of a realistic career mode, or do you want to see absolute chaos? Now we are going to move into the new features that heavily focus on how you manage your team. Because you are taking the team owner role, My Team 2.0 brings a lot of realistic features that you would normally see in real life. Starting off with R&D, research and development. Previously in the F1 games, you just buy a part, but now you actually have to research the part before you can develop it. And in addition to real life, you can now make parts for only one driver or both drivers. If you make parts for one driver, you'll get the part quicker, but if you focus on both drivers, it will take longer to get the parts. Now, this actually impacts your driver relationship. Let's say, you're not giving parts to this driver. He might not like you as much. You might want to go to another team. Whereas the driver you are focusing more on, he will like you more, and he'll be more willing to stay with the team because obviously he has a bit of favoritism. As well as that, you will be able to manage the workforce in your team. Obviously, if you have more employees, it will cost you more, but you will see more benefits and faster development and research times. However, obviously, because it's getting more realistic, there is now a cost cap in My Team career mode. You are limited with how much money you can spend in a season, just like real life. So obviously, if you decide to do heavy development at the start of the season, you won't be able to get as many upgrades for your car coming to the end of the season. As well as that, a big aspect of My Team Career Mode will be managing your team HQ, your team strengths and weaknesses. Do you want to focus on improving your strengths, or do you want to focus on improving the gap between your strength and your weakness? And you will be able to gain XP, which can further benefit how you focus your management. Now, of course, with a lot of the new features in Driver Career Mode on the last year's game, they are being brought over to My Team Career Mode, so we will see accolades and a new kind of rivalry system, but it will mainly be a fan base. Now, obviously, the more accolades you have and how your fan rating is, the more benefits you will see towards your team. Now, similar to real life, of course, the whole sponsor system is back, however, it will work differently. Now, as well as that, last year a lot of people have been asking for some form of new livery editor, a bit like Forza Horizon 4 where you can just customise your own liveries completely from scratch. However, we don't have much information about this editor, but we are getting a decal editor. Now, we are mainly assuming that it will just allow you to customise how your sponsors are placed on your liveries and the style of your driver numbers. Now, that is probably most of the features. If I'm missing some, please do let me know in the comment section down below. But now I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions on everything coming to My Team 2.0. So, My Team 2.0. It definitely looks like EA are trying to take a step in the right direction, though, adding features that we've asked for a while, but not 100%. Because yes, on one hand, a lot of these features are going to make gameplay a lot better. However, some features like not being able to create your own driver to race in the team, it will probably make you feel disconnected from your career mode. Because usually your F1 career mode is basically the story about yourself. You know, will you win the World Championship or will you just fail? It's what immerses you into the career mode. However, with you not being able to drive as yourself and having to drive as one of two drivers, unless obviously you're an esports world champion, which is very, very rare, it kind of just feels like you won't feel like you are in your career mode. And obviously, I don't see how EA would be able to change this, considering we are getting a lot of features that are based off driver contracts and the driver market. However, overall, it does look like all the new features and positives will outweigh the negatives. Now, all we just need to hope is that we get the next deep dive tells us a lot more about the handling, because that is another main aspect of the game that we still need to hear about. But I'm sure we could be getting that next week or sometime in the coming weeks. Now, thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please do let me know what you think of the My Team 2.0 update in the comment section down below. Make sure you like and subscribe, as it really does help the channel out, and I appreciate all you guys' support. As well as that, for F1 25, we will definitely be streaming F1 25 as I will be returning to League Racing. Obviously, I don't have a clue about dates or anything, so I would just have to wait and let you guys know. But with all that being said, I've been Chris Dex. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.